What's up, everybody? It's Patrick from wpbuilderhelper, and in today's video we're going to do part dos of building a WooCommerce Brizy website, our t-shirt website that we're putting together, and going to take and start working on it. I've already started taking notes, reminders of the colors, and just some of the things that I like, some of the elements that I like, the fonts, those type of things I've already started working on. I know that we're at the beginning of a new year. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful holiday season, wonderful Christmas, or whatever else you celebrate. So I'm hoping at the very end of this, as a special note, that I'd like to give this website away for people to use. It's going to be kind of like a copycat, and obviously you'll have to have your own licenses on it and all those things. But I'll probably zip it up and give it to you guys for free. So if you want to use it, you're free to use it and do whatever with it that you wish. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I did buy the domain for this, but I don't know if I'm actually going to even use it or not. It may be one of those things I want to use. I kind of, for a while, I've thrown it back and forth. I'd like to take and put something up similar to this and see how WooCommerce works. I think the biggest issue would be driving traffic, but if you're interested in that, let me know down below. Maybe I'll end up doing it anyway, and you can kind of give me your feedback if you're interested in seeing that and following the collection of what happens when I take and I do these type of projects, these type of side gigs, essentially. And from there, let's get started. Alright, so let's take a look at this site. For those people who are just joining us, or maybe you didn't see part one, I'll link that up above if you're someone who's maybe interested in seeing that. Maybe you missed it, but we're building this website and it's called Serving Lives, and the thought process behind it is we're building a t-shirt site. So the idea would be you'd go to one of these t-shirts and they would be political t-shirts. That's the thought process behind it, and you'd be able to build this. And we've kind of started playing with everything, so we're building this specifically. We're going to be building it with Blocksy and Brizy, and the reason why I chose both of these was because Brizy's got some WooCommerce settings that are actually out that we're going to be using, and Blocksy, I just really like that builder, that theme. It's one of my favorite themes to use, and so for me, it's just a no-brainer. I've built some other sites with Brizy and Blocksy. I really like them. I've got some other things I'm going to end up building, that are non-Blocksy in the future. I'll probably do a little bit of cadence and things like that, but for those people, I'm definitely trying to build this to see what it looks like. So going back, let's see what pages we need to build out. Okay, so the account page is not built out, so we'll need to take and build that out. It doesn't even have a header or footer. The checkout page, which in all honesty, with most checkout pages, they usually don't put headers and footers, although I feel like we would need to take and put a header and footer in our checkout page, because at least a header. I'm not sure you need a footer in it, but at least a header. Because it's all about eliminating, distractions and things like that. So for the cart page, we've got this cart page, and this looks pretty good. I think we had worked on the cart page, if I wasn't mistaken, to add the header and footer. And then we've got home in here, and obviously we need to fix home because that's not set up right either. So cart page looks good, so we'll do that. Home page needs to move to the front, which in most cases, some people don't even like putting the home page on the menu because they'll just attach it to this logo, which, to each their own. You can do it however you want to do it. I follow the idea behind it that, keep things simple, stupid, which the idea behind that is that you just make things as simple as possible so that people don't have to think. And from here we can see we already started working on the home page a little bit, so I was jumping in here to see. And we were playing with the ideas behind the the WooCommerce Builder to kind of give us some ideas of how we were going to build it. Because as you can see here, there's some interesting things going on here. So I don't know. We're going to have to see with that. I'm not so sure that I like that idea, because we already have a page. If we exit out of here, we already have this page, which is like the beginning page. I don't think that I like this either, but we already have this page, and this page basically has everything that we need on it. It's going to have the t-shirts and all of that sort of thing. So to me, it's a little bit redundant to have the home page with this. I think the home page should be more like other t-shirt companies. So if we go in Google and we take a look at what's out there, let's go t-shirt company, and we look at just some of the t-shirts that are in the area. So Threadless is one. Let's look at their homepage. Give us some ideas for what we're trying to do. And see, this is what I'm talking about. So their homepage, the header is very minimalist, and you've got a lot of different things that they do. They have like this is what you would call a mega menu, and then there's some join us. There's sell your art here, obviously your shopping carts here, you've got a little world here, and at the top you've got sort of like a banner. But this is what I'm talking about. So in theirs, it does have some pretty cool stuff because they have some different categories here. So this is like a discover more, which maybe is randomized. Then there's like an artist of the day. Then there's some reviews from real customers. Then there's the newsletter and the footer and all of that. But for the most part, it doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. So if you start looking at this, let's look at their men's page. You can see this has got a big, huge header. It's got a little banner up above. So these are two separate images. And then the men's gear is separated with these huge images. And I think that this is not a bad idea. I mean, the idea behind this is pretty solid. It's almost like a mosaic type pattern. So that's how they're kind of doing it. And apparently, if you can't hear, I'm sorry about the distraction outside, but there's a plane flying overhead. Not sure if that's going to come through on the audio or not, but I apologize about that. Sometimes things are really noisy in the area that I live in. But we could kind of do this same exact thing. You could do it with any real t-shirt model type thing. I have a couple of different ways that I could do this, because I have either t-shirt models I could use, or I could use something like Glorify, which I purchased over the holidays, which I believe that they have some other types of things that you could do. So there's, they're all about product images, but you could also do some other things, I believe. So here's some WooCommerce stuff: hero image, lifestyle images, comparison, call out photo. That's pretty cool. So they've got a lot of different things in here too, which I really, really like. I think that this is pretty cool. This will help out a lot in building quicker photos and stuff like that for the website itself. And then, for the photos, for the designs, obviously I would be creating those from scratch. So it would be pretty hard to take and do that on the fly. That would be a long-term project. I could do that off camera for the most part, because creating designs would be a rather tedious task of deciding what to take and add into the pictures and stuff like that. But for now, I think what I want to do is I want to download some images. So I was going through here and I typed in specifically political images, because I want some political images. And specifically, I don't want any images that are I don't want any stuff like this. I think I want my images to be rather neutral. So things like the American flag, things like Capitol buildings, flags. This is a good image. Let me download this. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't necessarily want to get into a fight over someone who gets rather angry because you're downloading, an image and it's got their likeness, and then you get sued. There's a bunch of different things that could happen with that. So we'll name this capital image. And that's probably going to be too big. If I had to guess, it's probably a pretty gigantic image, but I downloaded it anyway. We'll resize it later. All of these images will resize. There's just some pictures that I just kind of wanted of capitals and things like that. Government, building. Not that these necessarily are going to go on the website, but I just kind of wanted them on there. I wanted there to be something that, you know, this is a pretty good one. That's a huge image. Once again, it would have to be scaled down. Lady Liberty, and I can't spell Liberty. Lady Liberty, and let's see, was there anything else? Because the whole point of this website, in case you don't know, is not to pick. I definitely want to keep presidents out of it, although I will have some quotes from presidents. The thought process being that, and now the dog's barking, sorry about that. Thought process being that I'm trying to keep away from specific people. There's a lot of bad things that can happen to you when you target specific people like this or anything else. You know, you can be sued for any number of things. My whole entire premise of this website is to take and build something that is not necessarily a dig at one side or the other. It's kind of a dig at both. It's just funny stuff that, you know, people end up saying that, you know, you just can't get away from. I mean, it's sometimes political people, regardless of which side they're on, say the dumbest things, you know, and I think that those type of things can really, you know, regardless of whether you're on the left or the right or anywhere in between, I think that those type of things can be, you know, you can make a lot of money on them because people see those type of things and sometimes the other side attacks it and they latch on to it. And so that's kind of the premise of what the website is. I don't want to have stuff that is specifically one-sided or the other because I think that that creates an imbalance that is just not what I'm going for this website. Statue costume. I was going to say statue cost, American flag. So I try and name my pictures what they are. Just as you can kind of see, just as a reminder so that I don't necessarily need to open them. But, you know, there's a lot of different pictures of different candidates, a lot of different protesting and stuff like that. I like this. That's a pretty good picture. You know, this is obviously protesting in front of capitals and stuff like that. But I'm really looking for some, like, this is real nice, but once again, you're targeting people, so you got to be very careful. I don't know who these people are. I would never put that in there just because I don't know who they are. I like this just because Abe Lincoln, why not? We'll add him in there if we need some kind of background, something. I like this, but once again, you don't know. Technically, because I bought a subscription to Jump Story, they protect you against this, so all of this is supposed to be free to use in your images, but I just find that I would rather stay away from people. It's just an easier method of not getting in trouble with different things. That's a really good picture. Capitol Night. Some of these buildings are really, really cool. I mean, besides the fact that you have a lot of stuff that's in there, a lot of the old political buildings are just really, really cool looking. Political buildings. Let's look at that. Maybe signage. Yeah, I don't think this is what I'm looking for either. I don't think anybody who's coming to buy a t-shirt is going to maybe the, what's that, Pentagon. Pentagon building. I don't even know if the Pentagon's going to be in here. Oh, they do have the Pentagon. That's kind of cool. You know, there's a certain number of things that I think really say American politics, and I think the Pentagon is definitely one of them. I don't think we would want to take and include that because that's a little bit heartfelt. You don't want to do stuff like that, but I think having the Pentagon itself, there's no real good pictures of the Pentagon though. That must be a really weird building to work in. I could imagine it just being a really, really strange building. We'll download it just to have it. Just to have it as a building. I can't think of anything else that says America. I like this with the people, but this is more of a making fun of people type website, so I wouldn't want to put anything like that because I think this was after 9/11 when they were doing a tribute to it. This is definitely a 9/11 tribute to New York. You don't want to add stuff like that that can technically label you as careless. So we'll type in USA and we'll go through here. There's some stuff in here. You know, New York, I don't know why everyone thinks, I guess it's because I come from so far down south, but I just don't think of, I guess New York is like one of the biggest, it's like the hub. But man, I don't know why everyone sees New York is just the everything in America. Like everything in here, most of these pictures are from New York. They do have some Chicago. I like to see some Chicagos and stuff in there. That's pretty cool. Like I think this is a Florida picture. I could be wrong. It looks like Florida. That water certainly looks like Florida. This looks like Arizona. Some Arizona pictures maybe from the Grand Canyon. That's pretty cool. That's a cool picture. That's a really neat picture. It's a vertical picture though. Not so sure I like that. This is a neat picture with all the flags. San Francisco Bridge. That's cool. Not so sure that would go on a t-shirt site, but it's still cool. Just looking to see if I find anything. I don't think I'm going to find anything else. That's a cool picture. Let's grab this one. I like this one. See, sometimes when you American flag undershot. So sometimes you can find some really, really cool pictures when you're not really looking for them, you know? You find stuff like that. It's a cool picture of other flags, but we're not making fun of Great Britain nor Canada. We're making fun of the US. Although I'm sure that I could venture out and make fun of Canadians and the UK, since there is a lot of stuff that they also have their own politics. This is pretty cool. I like that spray painted on there, kind of like the graffiti of it. That kind of would fit the vibe of the site. Spray paint American flag. And this is a little bit different than building a website for like a client, because a client typically will give you all of the images that you need. Although anybody who's built a website knows that that's a joke in itself, because clients don't give you images. Instead, they just say, hey, I need you to take and come up with an idea of what this is going to look like, and you just have to kind of figure it out. Because in most cases, clients don't give you images. That's the sad truth behind websites. You have to go find them and peck and hunt around and like literally think into the mind of a client. I think there's been a couple of times where I have, that's weird. I wonder why this is in here. There's been a couple of times where I have, a client has given me images and stuff like that so that I can create the website. In most cases, clients don't know what they want until they see it, which is, one of the harder things to do, because you have to be in the mind of a client, which is not an easy thing. So we've spent enough time on this. As a matter of fact, I've wasted enough time. Let's call it what it is. It's wasting. So let's go back to our website and let's start updating these pages. Let's take this off and let's go check out. So We've got the cart page. This does not work at all. Let's go edit this page with Brizy, I believe. Well, let me go back and remember something, because we had started playing with Brizy. Oh, wow. That is a whoopsie. Apparently I was editing the page with Brizy, and now it's got this stuck on the side. That's a whoopsie. Let's go local. Let's go like that. Let's clear that. And let me try and remember, do I have templates set up? There's a product template that I think I was playing with. So the headers and footers, how did I figure out how to get them on the cart page? Let me go look at the cart page, because the cart page doesn't even say that it was. That's strange. The checkout page has Brizy. Let me view this page again. This was done with Brizy, or at least it says it was. Checkout page Brizy, terms and conditions Brizy, Brizy privacy shop Brizy. So the cart page is not Brizy? How did it get the... Oh, that's right. I think the cart page, what I had done was it's just using the short code. So this wasn't edited with Brizy. So I probably could edit with Brizy and just take out the short code, because it wasn't on there. And I think that that's what I want to do, is edit the short code. Because like I said, Brizy's pages are, yeah, because this is using the Brizy template. But if we go with the default template, well, that's weird. It's using the Brizy template, but now I'm getting confused because I'm trying to remember which one of these. So the account page definitely doesn't have anything. Let's edit the page. This is using Brizy. Let's say default. Let's update it. Let's go back and preview it in a new tab. Okay, so that's adding in. This is from, so that's right. This is specifically from Blocksy. I'm using the header in Blocksy. I'm not going to be using the header from Brizy. So I want to use the default for everything. Because if I use the default for everything, then essentially that'll make everything easier. So let's go in and change that real quick. Let's go into the pages and let's change that. So the cart page, it says Brizy, and it is going to be Brizy, but it's going to use the default template. Let's update it. Let's take and preview it just to make sure. And it should, yeah, it's going to default to that, which is fine. It doesn't have any of the stuff on it, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to add that. So cart page is done. Checkout, the account page is done, so that's not going to show anything. And we just need the checkout page, which is this page. So we're going to go into edit that. And that's also using a Brizy template. Let's click that. And let's make sure that that is also correct. Okay. So funny thing about that, that's just still taking and using this. This already looks better than what it did before, just because it's starting to have all this. So now if we look at everything, let's look and see what we're missing. So we've got the account page, which has that now. The cart page has this. And cart page has got nothing in it, so that's blank, which is kind of stupid. Well, no, it can't have anything. That's not true. And then the home page is just the regular home page with nothing attached to it currently. Okay. So this is cool. Let's edit this page with Brizy. Let's go into the... Okay, so you can see it imported the block, this my account, which I think is cool. All right. Let's go back. Let's go to the checkout page. Let's see if this also edited the account, if it just pulled it in. Looks like it did. Yep. Checkout. That's pretty cool. Are there any options for this? There's no options to my knowledge. You can change the width of it, but it's really just a short code inside of the page itself. So yeah, that's fine. We can leave that be. We don't need to make any changes to that. And then the cart page is missing the cart. So this is the page that I'm most interested in, because we're going to have to create our own, and we're going to drop a cart in here after we add a row. So let's add a row. Let's delete this one. And then from here, we'll add a cart page. All right, but see, you can see that cart page is just, that's not exactly what we wanted. So let's go and let's add another page. And I think we can specifically go in here and go to add cart. Yeah, so this is what we wanted. We wanted this cart page. We don't want necessarily the total. See, the one thing that sucks though is with doing this, I like having the total. It'd be cool if we could have the total up here. I wonder if there's a way that we could do that. Like we could take that block and somehow save it up here. We'll have to look at that. We'll go in and look at that. So that's the cart page. So now that's saved, that's updated. So we can take and we can get out of this. We can go back to the dashboard. And let's see if there's a way, if as we're doing this, if there's a way that you can actually go in and customize that, where you do have the header. See, so it's got the menu, and that's our menu items, and there's an HTML element, but there's no integration for Brizy, and it's a global header. It's a global header. So there's no integration for Brizy, which I'm not surprised. I didn't think that most people would have an integration for Brizy. This logo is kind of bothering me. This logo looks like it needs to be a tad smaller. It's a pretty big logo. That just looks way better than what it did before. I mean, it seems just look too big. If there was a way though, there may be, you know, as I remember, I think Brizy had added something in the WooCommerce section where you can have a checkout page, single product, product archives, general, store notice. It might have been in Pro. I'm going to have to research that. But I thought that there was a way that you could go in specifically and add like a floating, like an Ajax cart. Maybe you can't add it yet, but I could have sworn there was a way that you could do that. I would think that it would be in the header, but to be quite honest with you, I'm not using the Pro version. So I tell you what, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to add in Pro, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to see if that allows me to do it. All right, hold on. All right, guys, and we are back. So I went in Blocksy and I downloaded the Pro version, and sure enough, it's in the Pro version. You even have triggers and all this other stuff. You know, there's just things that you forget that they have in there. Let's see what this divider looks like, really. Does that just add a little divider here? That's kind of cool. I wonder if you can adjust the actual, like the actual size of it, or doesn't appear that you can, which is a little bit weird. I guess it scales up to the size of whatever this is. Oh, and you know what? I'm screwing up because I got two windows open. Let me close this window out. I'm gonna not save it, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna refresh this window because I was already in this window. That can happen a lot too when you're messing with stuff. See, restore and auto. Let's restore and auto save, because that'll have the logo smaller and everything like that. So then we'll go back into the header, and okay, you can see that. Oh, you can. Okay, cool. So you can adjust the stuff. So let me see if I unlock. It's got auto top and bottom, but left and right. That's weird. So, can you adjust this? No, you can't. It's just set to auto. It's a little bit disappointing. I mean, I'd like it that I can actually go in and adjust it so it's not so tall, but maybe that's an oversight. I'm not exactly sure. It's a little bit weird because I don't. Maybe you can adjust it with the size of. There you go. Sometimes when you don't know. So let's set this to 25. I kind of like that. Something like that. That's a much better percentage for me. Let's see what that looks like. We're going to adjust that too, but I'm working on this first. Okay, so then the divider looks good. I'm happy with that divider. I think that that's good. And then we'll add a cart button. And this is why sometimes you want to use themes, because they already have this stuff already in here. It's even got this floating Ajax cart. That's so perfect. So perfect for a WooCommerce website. And this is part of the Blocksy Pro. I'll have a link for it down below just in case you guys are interested. But as you can see here, there's definitely a lot more to this. And I really like when you start messing with themes, you've got some different card options. You've got some, the icon badge part that you can change. You can even choose the drawer type. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So you can have like a different drawer. Did it need a refresh? Did I screw that up? I feel like I did. I feel like I screwed that up. So if we hover over this, what does it do? What is this drawer? Off canvas drop down. So maybe publish it first. And maybe let's go look at it on the front end. See what this drawer looks like. Okay, so when we click on this, what does it do? Right, nothing. Well, I'm confused then. I thought it said it had an off-canvas drawer. Maybe I'm not using it right. Because I definitely saw the other one, but I'm not seeing this one. Either way, this is what we wanted. This is the goal. I just thought it would be cool if this actually did what it's supposed to do. But you know what? To tell you the truth, I really like this drop down a lot more. I think that that's pretty cool. And it really doesn't bother me. I don't like that the background is that. And I don't like that the font color is, let's see, is that initial? Set initial is that. So hopefully that will change. And we'll set it to this gray, maybe? Wait, blue and gray? I don't know how that's going to look. Let's publish that. Let's go back to here. Let's load it again. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's more, that looks way better. It was like a dark color before, and I didn't like that. I'd rather have it white with the blue. That looks pretty good. That pops up well. Numbers I want to be a little bit bigger. Let's go in design. Let's see if can you adjust the design of the actual, so you can adjust, interesting. You can't adjust typography. Huh. It's got to be in here because I know that they put everything else in here. Cart drawer. Oh, you could even stop it from having the cart drawer. It's pretty cool. It's weird. You would think for sure that there would be something in here. You can adjust the icon, but you can't adjust the font. I guess maybe because it's done with Ajax? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it automatically takes on the same. That looks a bit smaller than what I have currently. Let's look at this. This is a useful time when you can get like a Chrome developer tools, and let's inspect this and see, because it looks very, very, it's 13 point, what is this? That's 12. Interesting. So it's actually a little bit bigger than that. Huh. It's weird that you can't apply a like something to it to make it, you know, I don't know. Whatever. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes you don't need to worry about that. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. So that's fine. This looks okay. I mean, I wish that you could adjust that to make it a little bit bigger. I'd like to make the stuff a little bit bigger. But at the end of the day, it does what it needs to do. It follows the same color pattern as my menu, which I'm pretty happy with. As a matter of fact, let's go in here and let's up this a little bit. I like the menu being quite big. So see, it doesn't up that. So let's set it as 13. Let's make the menu items just slightly bigger than what they are. Let's set it to 13, 14. Let's say 13 and make it in line with what I have. Although I truly think those menu items should be a little bit bigger. Leave that alone. When you roll over them, they're going from gray to red, which I like. I like the American flag colors, and then the buttons are red. So everything is basically red when you're hovering over it. It's good consistency to keep stuff like that together. Font family, it's interesting. It says default font family. It shouldn't say that. It should be either Oxygen or Josephine, which I can't remember. Did we set? Yeah, I think it's Josephine that we wanted for the menu. Josephine Sands. Yes, that's what we want for the menu to kind of match similar to this, although it's not perfect. So let's go here and let's look at what else we have. We've got a couple different things. Let me see. All right, let me make sure. Yeah, that's still going strong. So we haven't made very much progress on the home page. That kind of was one area I definitely wanted to tackle this time around. But we've made a lot of progress just making it look uniform, which is something that I'm pretty happy with. Because I don't want to make these too long. The thought process is that, you know, it's supposed to be a simple t-shirt website, so I'm not interested in that. What is this button? Oh, okay. That's cool. That must be something with... We did not have that before, so that must be something specifically within Blocksy that they allow that. Yes, your cart is empty. That's good. I like the fact that it allows you to say that. Homepage still needs some help, so we'll have to work on that. I'll have to think of how I want to do my homepage and start looking at that. Checkout not available. The account setup is available. Before we just leave this, because I haven't done a lot, I feel like, you know, people want to see more than what I've done, but I don't want to make this long-winded. I want to make it as simple as possible, but there are times where you get drug into the weeds with different things that you're doing, especially when you're doing a layout and you're working on it your own, you know, on your own, kind of going through it. Let's look at our pages. We made a contact page and all of that, but before we leave, since this will be more of the boring video rather than the other stuff that you guys want to see, let's go and change the home page. Let's save this menu. Now this should move to the front, which is what we want. Yes, home at the front. Even though this takes us to the home, we want this to the home of the front, just so we could see it. And I think that this is starting to look good. The page is looking good. Things are coming out the way we want to. We've got everything. You're seeing how we're integrating both Blocksy and we're integrating a little bit of Brizy by using Brizy as our builder, which I think is excellent. That's what I wanted to do. Even though you could create all of this with Brizy, I wanted to do a blend of Blocksy and Brizy and get them both in there and use Brizy for just the essential stuff that I wanted to use. And at the end of the day, I think that this is coming out looking very, very well done. It's looking more uniform than it did before, and we finally got all the pages set up, so that's looking uniform too. we're going to start throwing some content on it. That's going to be the case, but that's going to require me to sit down and actually draw out some content. So that'll be what we do next time. Hopefully I won't be as long-winded and I'll be straight to the point. But if you want to see the design stuff, definitely mention it down below that you want to see the design stuff and watch me go through the design of t-shirts and all the other images that you want to create, because I want to do some cool stuff with this page. I don't want to make it as boring as, you know, this looks good, but I'd like to throw in some specialized type of graphics that are on there that just make everything look really cool. So if you want to see that, definitely take a mention down below and mention it to me that you want to see that type of stuff, and I'll definitely do it. All right, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll be moving on to part 3 shortly, and that one's going to be a more exciting part as we design the homepage. I was supposed to do the homepage this time around, didn't get to it. This was more of an overview of talking through what I was thinking of in my brain, and I'll start designing the homepage and going from there, and then we'll start building it out and seeing what we need to do. All right, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.